Welcome to the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad. Located in North Carolina's beautiful Great Smoky Mountains, the railroad, formerly part of the Southern Railway's Murphy branch, runs between Dillsboro on the east side of the line and Nantahala on the west side. Today, we will chase the railroad steam locomotive S-160 number 1702. She is an Army veteran, built by the Baldwin Locomotive Works in 1942, and was used at Fort Bragg in Fayetteville, North Carolina. After bouncing around to different railroads in the Midwest, she was purchased by the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad in 1991 and has called North Carolina home ever since, just as she did over 80 years ago. Today, the 1702 will be running the famous Nantahala Gorge excursion from Bryson City and through the Nantahala Gorge to Nantahala, after which she'll be dragged by the diesels back to Bryson, where she'll take a spin on the turntable for a light run to the railroad shops at Dillsboro. This gave us a rare opportunity to see steam facing east on the Murphy branch, as usually these light engine moves are done tender first. So get ready for 1702 running along the entire line of the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad, from Bryson to Nantahala and from Bryson to Dillsboro. We start at 10:30 in the morning on August 4th, 2024, as the Nantahala train departs the seat of Swain County, Bryson City. Established in 1887 and originally known as Charleston until 1899, it was the headquarters of the Southern Railway Murphy branch and one of the largest towns along the branch. Today, the town still fulfills this role, as it is the hub of the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad. Offices for the railroad are located here, and as well, all excursions depart from the town. Now let's get back to the train and follow it down the Murphy branch. We are located at Slope Street, right by the railroad's parking lot, as well as the turntable and engine house for 1702. We'll get back to those later. Speed restrictions across the switches mean that the train will crawl through town, allowing us to get ahead for our next shot. After the locomotive was a good distance behind us, we packed up and headed for our next shot, at the site of the Scenic View Motel. Located a few hundred feet after the Tuckasegee Bridge, the aptly named hotel has an overlook, allowing us to get a good but backlit view at the 1702 as she works up the grade out of Bryson. After passing us, 1702 will travel through a series of steep and windy curves to gain elevation, giving us more time to get to our next shot. We end up at Field Road, where the line straightens out a bit, so the train has picked up a decent amount of speed, as 1702 sounds her replica Southern Railway 6 chime long and loud for the several crossings along this stretch of track. From there we went to Cap Johnson Road, where the train slowed down for a small bridge just before this, as well as the sharp curve in front of us. Not far ahead of us, the train will reach the shores of Fontana Lake, a man-made lake created by the Fontana Dam in 1944. During World War II, more electric power was needed for producing war materials. The Tennessee Valley Authority decided to build a 480-foot dam in Graham County to supply the power. A lake, known as Fontana Lake, would also be created because of this. The creation of the lake meant that several miles of the Murphy Branch needed to be relayed, as most of the sections from Bryson to Wesser would be underwater. The old route followed the Tuckasegee River west out of Bryson, and then the Little Tennessee River south to Almond, and then finally the Nantahala River to Wesser. Today, the route goes west out of Bryson, and then south when it crosses what once was the Little Tennessee River. From there, it follows the lake, and eventually the Nantahala River to Wesser. Unfortunately, the train snuck up on us at this shot, but we made do. This is Almond, with the original Southern Railway station still standing. Almond was one of the several towns in the river valleys that were flooded during the creation of Fontana Lake. Although, unlike most other towns, Almond was one of the towns that was rebuilt near the raised line. Now we enter the most scenic part of the line, the Nantahala Gorge. The canyon walls are so steep that there is only full light in the gorge at midday. For this reason, the Cherokee Native Americans refer to the gorge as the Land of the Noonday Sun, which is what the word Nantahala translates to. A common sight along this part of the line is rafters. The Nantahala River, with its speed and rockiness, makes great rafting conditions, and many flock to ride the river annually. The crew often whistle at the passing rafters as a way to say hello. Towards the end of the line, we are now at Hewitt. Located where we are standing is a gravel road that leads to a quarry which mines talc and limestone. Back when the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad ran freight, this was one of their primary customers. We have officially reached the end of the line. Beyond this is the incredibly steep 4% red marble grade, which connects to Andrews, and eventually the end of the branch at Murphy. Although, this portion of the line is out of service for trains. From there we headed to the Nantahala Outdoor Center for some lunch, and some hiking on the Appalachian Trail. In fact, the trail crosses the Murphy branch right here at the Outdoor Center. The Nantahala Outdoor Center has so many activities, ranging from biking to rafting, and is worth a trip of itself. Check it out if you're in the area. Returning to Bryson, we got our one and only shot of the diesels leading the train. About 5 minutes after the train had stopped, 1702 uncoupled from the consist and ran past us to the west end of Bryson Yard. We expected them to stop just beyond the switch in front of us, and then reverse to Dillsboro tender first. But when she ran past us, it could only mean one thing. The locomotive would run facing east to Dillsboro. I'm not entirely sure why the crew spun 1702 on the turntable instead of going tender first, but regardless of the reason, it was a treat to see. This turntable is a manual turntable. Once the 1702 is balanced on the table, all it takes is a couple of people to turn the 160-ton locomotive. Now we are heading east along the Tuckasegee line. Our first shot was at the bridge just outside of Bryson. This bridge crosses Deep Creek, which feeds into the Tuckasegee River. From there we followed the locomotive down a gravel road known as Deep Creek Road. This road is sandwiched in between the tracks on the north side and the Tuckasegee River on the south side. We hurried along past the fields of Ferguson, and eventually to the curve at Ela, where Hyatt Creek Road crosses the tracks. From there, we went to Whittier, which is just one of the tiny railroad towns along this line, with the original railroad boarding house still standing. The passing siding here means that 1702 will take to the sidetrack and meet the westbound Tuckasegee train. After the train passed, one of the crew members flagged the crossing at Whittier Depot Road, and then they continued. The locomotive has picked up plenty of speed as it flies through the fields of Thomas Valley. We have rejoined the Tuckasegee River at Barker's Creek Road as the locomotive steams east. Finally, we have reached the shops at Dillsboro. 1702 will be heading into the diesel shop instead of the steam shop, most likely because the tracks to it were blocked by other equipment. "1702 slowly reverses down the shop lead, capping off a fun day of chasing the S-160 over the entire GSMR right-of-way. I hope you all enjoyed the video. These videos take a lot of time, effort, and money to make, so please consider liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and becoming a channel member. See y'all in the next video.